There's a record number of candidates vying for national chief of the Dene Nation. Usually there's only 2 candidates, so typically a single vote elects the leader. But with 6 candidates, the rules have been altered, and the winner must nab 51% majority of the ballots cast. Despite skepticism to change the Constitution, delegates gave it the green light. Speeches began with former National Chief Norman Yakalula of Toledo, who once served as MLA in the territories.
When I was an MLA and I thought I knew everything, I was going to change the world as an MLA for the Sawtoo. Because I saw the injustice going on in our communities, with the housing, the education. We got to put the government in the Northwest Territories on notice. You're no longer going to be around once we get our act together as a nation.
Next, Katlodiche First Nation Chief April Martel talked about tackling the addictions issues in the NWT.
And we also need to make the RCMP responsible to help us and assist us in the communities when it comes to drug dealing, when it comes to eviction of drug dealers in our communities. We have BCRs that we evict our drug dealers, but we need to push the RCMP to assist in taking those drug dealers out and improving our justice system in the communities and our victim services. We have too many victims in our small communities.
Incumbent Gerald Antoine is a veteran politician who served as Grand Chief of the Deitcho First Nations. He gave this emotional reflection on his time in office.
I saw the machinery and the moving parts in your communities, at the region, here at Dene Nation, and at the national level. I see that you're not into it.
Meanwhile, former Satu MLA Paulichina of Fort Good Hope spoke towards her 2 decades working for the territorial government.
But I feel that we are not recognized as strongly as we should be. I feel that our people in the smaller communities are not treated with adequate housing, with adequate services when it also comes to mental health. I think that as Dene Nation, as Dene Day, why can't we take over those services? Why can't we administer it? And why aren't we at the table and accessing further funding through AFN?
Former Clincho Grand Chief George McKenzie says more needs to be done to get students to graduate.
They got to find a way for the teachers to stay longer in our communities. And one way that we did it is we took the teachers out on the land on weekends. Volunteer work we did. We didn't get paid for it. Because of that, some teachers stayed for 7 years. Even one teacher stayed for 14 years.
Finally, former Smith's Landing First Nation Chief Jerry Cheesy of Fort Smith wants to further the distance between the Dene Nation and the GNWT.
They have proven to be ineffective in just about every aspect of our lives. They have an annual budget of $2.2 billion. Does any of that money go into your communities? Very little. Why are we, the owners of the land, beggars in our own homeland?
Results are scheduled to be announced no later than 8 p.m. Thursday night, which will be followed by a swearing-in ceremony. Charlotte Mort Jacobs, APTN National News, Dada.